What is a partner? It could mean a friend or a spouse. It could mean a family member or a coworker. And most of the time, it means someone who makes our lives better. Someone who makes it possible for us to be our best selves. But in this age, we've traded personal attention for bureaucracy and human interactions for digital ones. Genuine partnerships in our professional lives are a rare thing. In too many places, the spirit of competition has become toxic. Success of the individual at the expense of others. Instead, it should be an asset. It should create common goals and mutual responsibility, a place where we can all win together. Despite these constant changes in our culture, there is one truth that must endure. People matter. That's why we didn't set out to build just another bank. We created an organization that has partnership at its core, where every person, inside and out, has value. Every associate, everyone, is an owner. Working together, not against each other, empowered to make decisions without asking permission.
This is Sherry. This is Linda.
This is David. How can I help you?
This level of engagement means enrichment for those willing to invest in the idea that we started with. People matter. And above all, it means that everything we do, each and every day, is done for the benefit of our partners, whether they're down the hall or down the street. Helping all of us achieve heights we never thought possible. That's what we all want. Someone to help us become our best selves and give us the tools to get there. Do that, and investments in people become investments in communities. We see it in new buildings, in thriving small businesses, in growing families. The world is full of banks. What we need more of are partners. Pinnacle Financial Partners.
Thanks for having me. Speaking about a mission moment, yesterday, I had cried this morning because yesterday was amazing to me. I don't know, there was like 4 things that happened at the Boys and Girls Club. It's just one of those days that you needed. I'm in charge of what we call Tasty Tuesday. We kind of created it during COVID. And so every single Tuesday during the summer, which is 9 weeks, we rotate between each age group. They get to choose what we get to cook or make or bake, and then we make it as a group. So yesterday we had chicken quesadillas for our group. So that was really fun. And then we've made cake pops. I highly do not recommend that ever. Oh, it was awful, but everything else has been amazing. We made, they wanted to make donuts. So we tried to put a fun twist on it. And we did, what's the New Orleans? Beignets. So we did beignets. That was fabulous and actually turned out quite good. So I'm going to talk really quick because I only have just a few minutes and then we're going to scoot out because you don't want my little squirrely precious kids up here. Can you? Oh, so sorry. Thank you. So just a little bit of history about us. This is a lot, but there was so much good stuff. I couldn't leave it out. We became a Boys and Girls Club in '83 and it was created in Murfreesboro. We had their first board of directors in 1985. If you know Brian Hercules, he was one of the very first board members. I thought that's pretty cool because it kind of comes full circle. I always say, be nice to everybody because you never know later in life where you're going to need them. In 1986, we had our executive director hired as Steve McKinney, who was here for the majority of the Boys and Girls Club's existence. And then we had our first steak and burger. Isn't that fun to think about that long ago? It's been almost, 36 years ago, we had our first steak and burger. And wow, has it changed. So we're excited. And then we moved into the McFadden Community Center. And in 1997, we opened to where we are now. I think everybody knows where we are on Jones Boulevard. I say behind Toots and everybody's like, oh yeah, I know where you are. And then we moved into Smyrna in 96 and we just recently celebrated 30 years. Our average daily attendance. So we have our Murfreesboro Club, which we obviously, this was pre-COVID. This was 2019 numbers. So we serve average daily attendance 211 in Murfreesboro, Smyrna 275. Who knew we had one in Shelbyville? They're underneath our umbrella. They have their own board of directors and their own event. But we have 40. It's in an old building. I think it's been a Pizza Hut. I think it's been a bar. It's been something else. And now it's a Boys and Girls Club. So we hope to get their own building one day. But Shelbyville's unique and it does very, very well. And then the whole organization, we average daily attendance of 508. What's our current footprint? We served 2,600 members in 2019 pre-COVID. We're getting, in the fall, we're back full force. Currently, we're serving 200 at the most we can have at each club right now in Murfreesboro, Smyrna, that is. We have 12 buses. That's insane to me. I was just telling somebody about driving the bus. I said, if they had me driving the bus, you would never see me. I'd be in the bus all the time. Getting your CDL is no joke, just FYI. We serve snack and dinner during the school year. In the summer, we serve breakfast, lunch, and snack. I say everything, but we do everything but wake them up or tuck them in. So they're with us all day. And most of those kids are there longer than me some days. So it's amazing. The programs and the things that we do is awesome.
Thank you, everyone, and Denise for the invitation. I appreciate it very much. And it's hard to follow children, but I'll do my best up here. This is a great group. I wish I had this opportunity when I was in your age bracket, but that was many years ago. So the book I'm talking about today is The Power of Who. And if you can be honest without closing your eyes and raising your hands, but how many of you networking is kind of a negative connotation to you? Like when you see it on an itinerary going somewhere, is anybody else like me where I would rather just sit in my car and wait till 7 minutes till time to start, but I know how important networking is. It just brings back memories from prom, I think, where you have your wallflowers and then those that are really working the room. But I looked up networking because a lot of people have different ideas of what networking really is. And some of the definitions on my thesaurus said meet and greet, mingle, hobnob, rub elbows, rub shoulders, and none of that really is my thing. So when my husband came home with this book, basically The Power of Who, you already know everyone you need to know, I was like, Lord, please let this be true because this would change my world. I started networking when I started Amelia's Closet. Before that, I really didn't have much of a need, but I know it was important because I was starting basically from scratch in a field I had zero experience in. And as Denise was reading my bio, it seems like everything I took on to do when I was asked to do it, I had zero experience. So I've had to learn, really just to learn from scratch, reading a lot, watching videos and learning from others. And so having mentors is very important. And it talks about that in this book too. So basically when, still backwards, sorry. I didn't think I already knew everyone I needed to know. Starting a nonprofit, I had never really helped with any nonprofit except working through my church and serving in that way. So I wasn't too sure when I started this book, but the book talks about your inner circle. So it also talks about your who friends. You also have these other groups that are in your circle of acquaintances and fans. So your who friends are basically anyone that would be interested in helping you or that you would be interested in helping them. And this book talks about your inner circle being your 12 special friends. Some of us have more, some less, but it's basically those that want you to strongly succeed. They help you, you spend time with them. It may not be all the time. These special friends may not even all get together. You may spend time separately with them. They calling them the floating friends. But a lot of us have 12, give or take some. And then the 3 closest friends, those that you do spend a lot of time with. They're really instrumental in your success. They're very present and close. And then the last one, your best friend. There's just a kinship with that person. And you may have more than one best friend in different areas of your life. but there's nothing like them. So this book goes on to talk about your who friends. And the author recommends or suggests just 100. Now, some of us may have 50, give or take, but it's anyone that wants you to succeed that's kind of in your world through different relationships. And so if we each have 100 ourselves, and then our 100 friends have 100, we can see how this overlap of potential for success in helping us could just be amazing. And so it really does take relationships. There's kind of a caring quotient that goes up with relationships versus trying to sell or make a difference with a perfect stranger. And so I know being at some networking events, some people are passing out cards like blackjack dealers. And really, when you go back and look, did any of those people really contact you, or did you follow up? So a lot of it is who you know and who they know. So the action plan of this book, which helped me, was deciding who your who's are. I don't have 100. I'm far from 100. But just knowing who's in your circle of who friends, and some of mine are in this room. And then your 40 what's. Like, what is it that you really want? What do you want to be successful at? So we have to be very specific on the what's, because we want to talk about what your dreams are, whether you're awake or not. What does success look like for you? So success for me personally would be really different from Scott. So you have to know what your success looks like. If we're not specific, then how do we know when we arrive? Just like praying, if you're very vague in your prayers, how do you know when they're answered? So we have to be very specific on what it is that we do want. So our what's are specific dreams, goals, ambitions, and purpose. And the way that we get to those, it's derived from our personality, our skill set, and our passion. And that's kind of what brought me to Amelia's Closet. So growing up, I was in a military family. And so we moved around a lot. And most places initially, you felt like you didn't belong. And we didn't just move from one state to the connecting state. We moved from, I was born in Minnesota, I don't remember it at all, moved to San Antonio, then to Maine and Colorado, then Michigan, Nebraska. So it was all cross country. So most of the places I went, me and my sisters felt like we didn't fit in. And so I feel like that background growing up that way really led me to do what I'm doing now, which is helping those feel like they belong. My earliest memory, I was thinking about this on the way here, and I didn't even have it written down, but I think my earliest memory of feeling like I didn't belong was I think 4 or 5 years old. We just moved to a new state and visiting a church, and me and my sister, she's 11 months older than me, we walked in. I remember we were wearing, this was way back, we were wearing navy velvet capes to church. Okay, hopefully it was in the winter or fall, but we had our velvet capes on, and we were just standing by the door like we didn't know this new class of kids. And we both talk about, to this day, we remember a little boy walking up and just spitting on our capes. It's like, what do you do with that as a 4 and 5-year-old, feeling like you don't belong? And so starting Amelia's Closet with no experience, feeling like I wasn't qualified in the least, really, it's all these life experiences. And we could probably all attest to that. So many things in our past have been the puzzle pieces to get where we are today. And that was where I started with Amelia's Closet. So so there's really 2 main questions. Your what do you really want? And a lot of us, if we're put on the spot with the microphone in our face, how do we answer that? I really had to think about that, because I didn't, until I was challenged to think, what is it you want? I didn't really know. I just want to be happy and, raise my kids well and things like that. And then the 2 who's are, who do you know, or who do you know that knows somebody, and who can you help? So it's not all about us and our success. It's about helping others, get where they want to go too. So let me go back. Okay, so basically my passions, this is kind of the progression of Matthew West. My passion started at Greenhouse Ministries. And the only way I got there was God had been telling me about my burden I had. I couldn't get away from it. And when I heard Matthew West's song, Do Something, I knew I had to start. because like I said, I didn't feel educated enough to do it. So I started volunteering at Greenhouse with the Sharps. I met Jason Gully there volunteering, and some of you probably know Jason. So he was volunteering there. I don't know if he was teaching arm wrestling or what, but he was teaching a class there. So he introduced me to Colby, who said, I'm involved with a fundraiser. You need to meet Shannon Wheeler. At that time, it was Rutherford Romp and then Charity Chop. So Jacqueline Edwards was one of the bakeries competing in the competition. She ended up winning with a replica of Amelia's closet for the bakery competition. So she goes in with Laura Gossett at Tasty Table, and they both have a burden for our causes. And because they knew my story, Jacqueline talked to her sister, who's good friends with Matthew's wife, about sending this video clip.
Hey, this message is for Jody Powers. Jody, it's Matthew West here. Hope you're having a great day. I just want to take a second to send you a little message. I heard about the great work that you're doing with Amelia's Closet and Liberty's Station, and I just think it's really cool. I just wanted to encourage you. I also heard that my song Do Something maybe served as a little inspiration along the way as you seek to be about a greater cause and doing something, right? Just like the message of that song says, too many times, too many of us, we wait around for somebody else to do something, for God to send somebody else, when all the while he's saying, I created you. So I love hearing stories of somebody answering that call. So I wish you all the best. Keep doing great things for God, and just always remember that we can bring our best efforts, but we know that all things are possible with him. And so I'm believing that he's going to do big things through your work. God bless you. Bye.
I could not have orchestrated that on my own, obviously. But just building the relationships over the 7 years of Amelia's Closet, that even we're able to start what we're doing with Liberty Station. So I don't know if you've seen the sign, but just like Boys and Girls Club, we're behind Toots too. And so it's the big automotive garage we're renovating to be a job training center. So it's a crazy concept, I know, but it's God directed, and we'll have multiple employment streams under one roof, training anyone with employment obstacles. So that's our female clients getting out of jail, or men too, those getting out of rehab, those with physical disabilities, intellectual, developmental, veterans. It's just a wide range of anyone that wants to work. We want to help them train to kind of have a better life. And I know a lot of parents of adults with disabilities are concerned what will happen when we're gone. And so we're wanting to give them a chance by training them where their gifts are, not just bagging groceries, which is great to have a job, but we know they can do more. So these are out of order. So this is just leave you with this representation of how our relationships overlapping. So networking is a great thing because you are cultivating relationships, but just the cold turkey passing out business cards doesn't always work. But you have to know what, and obviously we've all heard of it starts with why. And so that could be, 1A, and your what could be 1B. But basically we have to know where we're going to know when we get there, and to bring people along to help them succeed too. Knowing your what first really better dictates who needs to be on your who list. And so that would be the last thing I would challenge you with. And I do have a quote about relationships. Andy Andrews said, relationships are still one of the most reliable ways to predict the direction in which life is moving. And that's so true. I used to think when I was just doing graphic design, I can do this by myself, but I really realized it's relationships that really help you be fulfilled and reach, your full calling. So I do a lot less traditional networking. If you don't see me sitting in my car waiting, then I'm usually out having coffee with someone in my who circle. But I'll leave you with this quote from the children today. Thank you for listening to my speech. So thank you, but I'll take any questions. This is a great book, and it's not new, 2009, but I think a lot of people are realizing it is the relationships that have helped them get, where they want to go, not just the cold calls, because that rarely works. But Scott.
Someone not familiar with what MYP is called. What services you provide?
Yes. So the question is what we do at Amelia's Closet and Liberty Station. So we have to have referrals from all our clients. So organizations that are helping women progress from hardship situation, whatever that might be, into the workforce. So it could be incarceration, rehab, just a recent divorce, and they haven't worked in 20 years since their kids have been home. So we provide them with interview outfits, interview tips, a complete makeover head to toe from the Georgia Career Institute. Just help them make a good first impression. 23% of our clients have some college education. So it's not the chronically homeless that we help. It's those that are wanting to get out of their current situation. And we know once the moms do, because most are single moms, then you know that's better for their kids to get out of the poverty cycle where they can feel like they have a better chance. Our main volunteer source with Amelia's Closet has been adults with disabilities from day one. And so they, pre-COVID, were coming in twice a month to process our donations. So they would clean our jewelry, shoes, and purses. And they absolutely loved it. They wanted a real job there, but we're not hiring. But I saw the need of giving them more opportunities. So Liberty Station is merging the clientele basically. So anyone with employment barrier that does want to work and has a referral, someone to vouch that they have the potential to be successful with long-term employment, that's who we want to help. And so we have some amazing people helping us. I don't know, you may have seen the Demas's food trailer parked outside. They donated that to us. We'll be serving gourmet grilled cheese in the near future. That'll be the focus. But Shane McFarland offered to be our contractor. We had the different companies donate materials and supplies free of charge, or did services free of charge. So it's been amazing to see, and a lot of just like this, it could not be orchestrated any other way besides God and Him putting the right people in our path and orchestrating, divine appointments, I call them. Yes. Yes, good question. Some of our other partnering organizations, the main one is Doors of Hope. So a lot of those ladies are in transition housing from program while they're incarcerated to the program outside. Greenhouse Ministries, of course, Salvation Army, several churches recommend people that are to us, Goodwill Career Solutions, Domestic Violence Shelter, the organization on aging, I can't remember the official name, but we have around 50 partnering agencies that refer. We've seen ladies from 11 counties surrounding us. And so we know Liberty Station being, making even that more impact in the community, there'll probably be, interns coming from all over the area too. So yes. Okay, good question. So the question was, what opportunities of employment are we going to train in? So we'll have food service, hospitality, because those spaces, amazing spaces, will be amazing. Right now, they're not so great, but those will be able to rent out for meetings and parties. And so we'll have hospitality training, custodial, office work, barista, bakery, car detailing, retail. We keep coming up with more that would be so important that we can have under one roof. And so we'll probably think of others too, but we'll focus on those. And the Chamber of Commerce has offered to partner with us, and they said, we'll certify the graduates of your program, and that should look good on their resume too. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much.